There is nothing worse than waiting all year for Halloween Horror Nights only to have your night ruined by a rookie mistake. Now, we're not just talking about beginners here, because even the most seasoned HHN vets still mess up from time to time.
We've been coming to this event for 10 plus years and we still look like rookies sometimes, but that's all right, because today we're going to put a stop to it. We are giving you some of the biggest rookie mistakes you're still making at HHN so that you and us, yes, both of us together, can have one badass time at this event this year. So grab your blinky cups and let's go.
That Wicked Thrill Seekers? Oh my God!
Now, before we dive into our first rookie mistake, know this. You can go on Google right now and you'll find tons of HHN rookie mistakes from all sorts of different websites, giving you all sorts of tips. The ones that we're going to give you today, you're going to want to stick around because we're going to give you some pretty hot takes that go along with them.
Let's start with a biggie, the food dilemma, because overeating or undereating at Halloween Horror Nights will severely impact your night. And I know because I am a repeat offender in this category. You know that rule that's like never go grocery shopping when you're hungry? Pretty much same applies at HHN.
Picture this, you come to HHN on an empty stomach, the night gets long so you prioritize food. Okay, but next thing you know, you'll have spent over $200 on food and drinks, your stomach hurts and you're calling your mom to pick you up because you have diarrhea. That's what we like to call eating with your eyes.
Now, if this is your first time at Halloween Horror Nights, you're gonna realize very quickly just how precious time at this event really is, especially on those long weekend nights where the lines can get really long for haunted houses and for food. Before you know it, you're gonna have to start strategizing whether you're gonna get some food or go into a haunted house. And believe me, running on a Rice Krispie treat in a dream all night is the #1 way to kill the vibe.
TLDR, don't starve yourself, but don't overeat either. And make sure that you're also drinking water, plenty of water, because between the lights, the fog, and the heavy crowds, it's gonna get hot as hell here. Now, before we move on to our next tip, can we take a moment to just absorb the badass construction updates we've been seeing here in New York? On this side of Torture Fair, we see over here at the stage, 2 chairs were added, some pulleys up in the corner, and over by the light pole over there, we actually see a pretty cool banner hanging out.
Aside from the main Torture Fair stage, where we'll probably get some sort of show, at least I hope, we also have some other platforms in New York that have propped up, including the Breaking Wheel, the Brazen Bull, and the ye old Aim and Maim. Now, these props look like some pretty sick torture devices coming to Torture Fair. Don't know what else we're gonna see in this zone, but it's getting pretty beefed up pretty quickly, as it should, because HHN starts in less than 2 weeks at this point.
Tip number 2 is not utilizing the Universal app. As we mentioned before, time is precious here at HHN, and that app will help you save some of that time. You'll be able to see all of the house locations spread throughout the park, because remember, we don't have paper maps anymore, but you'll also be able to see all the wait times ahead of time. So instead of having to run across the park to see where Insidious is at and see, oh wait, it's at 90 minutes, next time, just pull up your phone and check the app.
And one of my favorite things about the Universal app is the fact that you can actually set wait time alerts for your favorite house at HHN just the same way that you can do it for your favorite ride in the park during the day. Now, we're in front of Fast and Furious right now, and while you may not be thinking about setting a wait time alert for this ride anytime in the near future, you may think differently depending on which house comes to this location. The one thing that I want you to know about setting wait time alerts is the second that you get it, you better haul ass in a fast walking way to this location, because everybody else is getting that same notification. Now, the app has some other really cool features, like the fact that you can keep your tickets on your phone as well as your express passes. Get those express passes, but you can also make reservations and so much more. However, please make sure that your phone is charged before you head into HHN, or at the minimum, have some portable chargers. But that's a whole other conversation for another day. Now, we are gonna head into tip number 3, but first, let's check out Blumhouse and see what updates they have here. There doesn't seem to be that many updates, or any at all, honestly. Clock, do you see anything?
I don't see a damn thing. I feel like we're not gonna get too many more updates before the event starts.
If you want to see all the updates that have been put up in San Francisco, make sure you check out our last video, the HHN deep dive for HHN 33.
Tip number 3 is coming to HHN and not having a strategy. I'm telling you right now, if you're planning to come to the event and winging it the entire time, go ahead, do me a favor, get up, grab your ticket and flush it down the toilet, because that's where it belongs. Now, I'm not talking about some military style, grade A, color-coded, crazy, time-stamped plan. That's all on Pau. She's a little kooky, but we can talk about that later.
Are you rude?
audacity.
All you really want to do is just keep it simple. You want to ask a couple of questions to make sure that you and your group are on the same page. So for example, things like, are you getting an express pass? Is your whole group getting an express pass? Are you starting at the back of the park or at the front of the park? What happens if your phone dies and you get lost from your group? Where are you going to meet? Are you going to do any rides? Are you going to check out the live stage show? Because Nightmare Fuel is chef's kiss. Make sure that you ask yourself all of these questions, especially if you're going in a big group, because we've been there, done that, and honestly, it's a big night ruiner.
Now this next tip might trigger a few folks, but you're gonna wanna hear is how not taking care of your hygiene. There are 3 things you need to always remember before you head into this event. Check them off. Hands, armpits, mouth, or hand for short. First things first, you and I both know the theme park is full of germs. Everything you touch is full of them, and the last thing you want to do is get your Scream Squad sick. Bring a little hand sanitizer. That will be a lifesaver. Or if you can't, go to the bathroom, wash your hands every so often. You'll thank us later.
And remember, we are in Florida, so spooky season doesn't necessarily mean a spooky season weather. In fact, I hope you're wearing deodorant, but if you're like me and you get mega anxiety when you start sweating, make sure you carry some spare deodorant in your bag, because the last thing you want is to be packed into Nightmare Fuel where you're person next to person next to person and you're the one that feels like you're smelling like a bag of onions.
And finally, let's talk about your mouth. So I want to set the scene for this one. Picture this. You are late into the night with your friends, your Scream Squad, maybe a cute girl or guy, and all of a sudden everybody's looking at you like you're an alien or something. It's because your breath smells like a cat's litter box. It happens. So trust us, to prevent that, you're gonna wanna bring a pack of gum, maybe a breath mint, maybe those little breath strips. Be creative, it doesn't matter. But make sure you bring something, because you're not gonna be only scarring them, but you're gonna be scarred for a very long time. Now we're at Central Park, where they will have Swamp of the Undead, but we don't really see a lot of updates in the construction, except for maybe a lot of coverings actually. I wonder if they are hiding some monsters back there. So you've got some over here by the boat, and you've got some down there covering the alligators. But actually, I feel like they did pretty well with the, what is that, like a tree house, right? If you go close to it, they've got the screen door going on now and the little decorations. Looks like, do they have a bed in there? Because I really want to sleep there.
No, Hawk, they do not have a bed in there. If Hawk could have a bed at Halloween Horror Nights, you best believe he would be able to sleep here. Like Hawk said, there are a lot of coverings in this zone. However, not a whole ton of construction, but I'm not surprised. I feel like Swamp of the Undead was one of the zones that was beefed up first more than all the other zones. Seems like it's going along pretty well. Now, this next tip could not have come at a better or worse time, depending on how you look at it, because if you can tell by the glistening on my skin, the sweat mustache I have going on, it is very, very hot in Central Florida. We're talking weather still up into the high 90s with real feels into the hundreds, 103s. Today's real feel is at 103. Now, I'm not a weather person here, but I am here to tell you to wear comfortable clothing at HHN, because this is an event that you are going to be sweating from open to close. So make sure that whatever you're wearing is something you are comfortable sweating in all night. Now, we're not here to tell you what to wear. We've seen everything at HHN, from the fanciest of clothes to people wearing pajamas. It's whatever makes you comfortable at the end of the day. But keep in mind that these nights are long. You're going to be doing a lot of walking, putting in a lot of steps. So if you're thinking about wearing high heels, my personal recommendation to you is to double, triple, quadruple think that thought process, or at least bring some change of shoes if that's what you want to wear. Also, with the weather, it will typically rain still in early September through early October. We're still in hurricane season, so keep that in mind as well when it comes to your footwear, your socks. Bring a change of socks, bring waterproof shoes. I personally like to wear Tevas. They're waterproof, they're comfortable, they're my go-tos all the time. Now, when it comes to packing, you don't want to have a bunch of stuff on you throughout the night. Again, you're going to be very hot with the fog and the lights and the people and everything. So just make sure you have a small backpack, waterproof backpack, a fanny pack, something to keep your hands free so you can have your blinky cup and anything else that you may want to carry in your hands. And lastly, if this is your first time coming to Halloween Horror Nights, remember, this is not Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. You are not allowed to wear costumes here, especially masks. You will be turned at the gate if you're coming into HHN with a mask. The reason for this is because you don't want to get confused for a scare actor. If you are going to do some type of HHN bounding for your favorite horror movie, Insidious, just keep it on the more casual clothes side, and you're good.
If you already live in the area or you take advantage of multi-night ticket packages, you're probably familiar with this one. And this tip is not coming to the event more than once. Why? Because Universal invests so much time, energy, and money to bring you the best experience of all time. If you go through those houses, even scare zones, the live performance only once, you are 100% guaranteed to miss out on some things. And if you want to get through all 10 houses, 5 scare zones, a live show, tribute store, and everything in between, you're gonna want to come more than once. We've done it before where we would only come once a year, and we would go back and look at videos and be like, holy crap, we did not see this, especially being big fans of the big IP houses. And specifically for the houses, for example, you don't always get the same jump scares. Sometimes they're on a shift change. Sometimes the scares are on a timer. So you're really not gonna get the same walkthrough every time. If you really wanna get the best experience and really absorb the hell out of this event, then you really wanna come more than once.
Now, I know what you're thinking, coming to the event more than once might be a tad expensive. Not gonna lie with you there. However, in our next video, we're gonna talk about the best way to maximize your time if you are coming for the event one night and the second night to be able to stay on a budget. Stay tuned for that one. So we have 2 more bonus tips to give you. This is hot, but we're in the Hollywood section of the park where construction is pretty slow. Even though we're 2 weeks out, all we're really seeing are mainly trusses here. I wonder if this is because there will be a daytime parade still running through the park during the day before it turns into HHN. We might see some physical construction pieces rolling in after the parade. However, moving on to those tips, really, really, really important. Speaking of daytime park, nighttime park, the last thing you want to do at HHN is spend early admission at Islands, or even coming into Universal at Park Open and running all the way through the day to HHN close. That is the #1 way to tire yourself out, get in a bad mood, and just ruin your experience for Halloween Horror Nights. So if you are coming to the park during the day, just make sure that you take some type of break in between before heading into HHN. Trust me, we've said it like a million times in this video, but I'm not kidding when I tell you that those nights are really long.
Final bonus tip is to make sure you brush up on your horror movie knowledge, especially for those IPs that are coming to the park this year. There's nothing better than watching a movie, coming to the event, and living the movie. You're gonna feel like you're right on set when you watch some of these and come to HHN. So if you want to go in blind and be confused, that's on you. But trust us, you're gonna have one hell of a good time if you know what the hell's going on through these houses.
We have made it through this ridiculously hot day at Universal Orlando to bring you all the rookie mistakes that you're probably still making at Halloween Horror Nights. Now we have one more tip that is a huge one of ours. We always take advantage in, and we're gonna give you that tip in our next video where we help you strategize on a budget, so stay tuned for that. Now for now, if you are coming to HHN this year, whether you're a beginner, whether you're on your 12th year, and you want to dive deep into the event, see everything that's coming, we have a video for you right here.